All right. I need Pastor Phil Hotzenpiller to come up here with me, and Devin, I need you to pull up some stuff. Everyone take notes, take photos, whatever you need to do. I am going to blow your mind about 14 times in a row. If you need to vomit, just vomit kind of quietly so the person next to you doesn't vomit as well, because it causes contagious vomit. Okay, so Devin, let's pull up the slides real quick here. Okay, first thing you can jot down, please. It's very important you jot this down, okay? Klaus Schwab. Devin, you got my notes pulled up there? Pull it there. Klaus Schwab, all right? So you say, why is this happening? Vaccine mandates, election fraud, medical fraud. It's Klaus Schwab and Dr. Yuval Noah Harari. Okay, so it's Klaus Schwab and Dr. Yuval Noah Harari versus free will and God. Now, these clowns, these horrible people, these Marxists, these Luciferians, these deep state, godless people, they have these things called the World Economic Forum events where they gather in auditoriums. Instead of having God-living people like you, they gather with Luciferians like them, and they talk about things like this. So, Devin, let's go ahead and hit play, and then we're going to pause it kind of John Madden style as we work through this. I want you to walk. This is Dr. Yuval Noah Harari, who Klaus Schwab has said is the top advisor. His top advisor, this is Dr. Yuval Noah Harari. And by the way, the word corona numerically means 666. Take a photo of it, look at it later. The word corona is 666. C is the third letter of the alphabet. O is the 15th, R is the 18th, O is the 15th, N is the 14th, A is the first, add it up, 666. The word corona is 666. Okay, hit play, Devin. Go all the way back and crank it up loud. And again, this is just take notes. We're going to pause. We're going to break it down. Pastor Phil's here to break it down. Go for it, Devin. Crank it up. Loud.
We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens, because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the...
Pause. Okay, he's saying this while the background is an LED screen of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. His name is Yuval Noah Harari. Yuval means descendant of Cain. Noah Harari. The Bible, if we scroll, Devin, kind of exit out to the full screen and then kind of go into the normal view and scroll down. Matthew chapter 24 says, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of Son of so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And then if you say, well, what was happening during the times of Noah? Genesis chapter 6, verses 4, it says there were giants in the earth, and in those days, and also after that, when the Son of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare them children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Okay, so you got Dr. Yuval Noah Harari. You saw the first 30 seconds of what he said. What part of that, Pastor Phil, is worrisome to you as a Christian?
Just everything.
Okay.
First of all, keep in mind that the coming Antichrist will be of Jewish descent.
Which he is.
Okay, interesting, right? It's also interesting that when you tie in the passage about as it was in the days of Noah, okay, so that's, Jesus says if you want to know about the end times, you look at Genesis, then you fast forward, you look at what's happening today, you see that connection with Matthew 24. So all these things coalesce in helping us to understand what's really going on. So this guy is what we would call an Antichrist, okay? John said many Antichrists will come, but there is a coming Antichrist. That is with the capital the, all right? The Antichrist.
Okay, Devin, hit play.
The planet look like. This will be decided by the people who own the data. Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need two things. You need a lot of computing power, and you need a lot of data, especially biometric data. But control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design. And the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud, these are the new driving forces of evolution. And at the same time, science may enable life, after being confined for 4 billion years to the limited realm of organic compounds, science may enable life to break out into the inorganic realm. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over. Over. Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. Yeah, I mean, everything is being digitalized, everything is being monitored. In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste, because a crisis is an opportunity to also do good reforms that in normal times people will never agree to. But in a crisis, you see, we have no chance. So let's do it.
Vaccine won't help us go
The
to
vaccine
the test, of course.
will help us, of course. It will make things, you know, more manageable. Surveillance. People could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is...
Now pause. Now back it up just 15 more seconds. Hit play again. Listen to what he just said. Okay, listen to what he just said. Play. Go for it. Good job, Devin. Thank you.
When a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of
Okay,
science.
pause. So now we're going to go to timetofreeamerica.com/revelation. Now, please understand, that is the lead advisor for Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab, who has said on camera that he has control over Trudeau, over China's leadership, over Merkel, and he said that Biden is the #1 hardest working member of his organization called the World Economic Forum. So just so we understand the idea, this is the mindset these people have. So we go to timetofreeamerica.com/revelation. We're going to scroll down here, okay? So we go down here, down to 2002. Okay, great. Follow the timeline, folks, here. 2002, the CDC patented the coronavirus transmissible to humans with patent number 7279327. That's the patent. So the CDC patented the coronavirus transmissible to humans, thus increasing the transmissibility of a naturally occurring pathogen that occurs in an animal to get it to jump species to humans. Okay, so the CDC patented the coronavirus. So people say, why are you so passionate about this? I don't understand why anybody would ever cite the CDC about anything ever. This would be like, let's say you're Jewish and you're citing Mein Kampf for wisdom. This would be like, you know, you have more pigment than me, and you're, let's say you're black or you're darker skin, and you're quoting like the KKK as a reference. You, me, we, quoting the CDC is a bad idea. Okay? CDC, totally corrupt. We scroll down. 2008. Dr. Phil, I want to get your thoughts on this. The NIH began research on how to block out and manipulate the God gene, the VMAT2 gene. Click on the link. Dr. Phil, why would they want to block? Why would Dr. Yuval Noah Harari, why do you speculate, why do you think he'd want to block out the God gene? What are your thoughts from a biblical perspective?
Well, my first thought is that what you just watched was really a spirit of Joseph Mengele. That's really what it was. And remember that demonic spirits, what do? They manifest themselves. Now, you don't have to be a Christian to believe that. because you can see that in the occultic world. They'll tell you that, right? So the Bible is very clear on that. So what we have here is we have someone who says, I'm going to suppress the truth. This is a quote from the Bible, Romans 1, in unrighteousness. And they exchanged the glory of God for man. All right? They took away God's deity, and in the place they put man as deity. That's exactly what was happening here.
So, Devin, back to the timeline. We're going back to timetofreeamerica.com/revelation. It's all cited. In 2010, the Rockefeller Plan was written, which calls for, and I'm quoting from page 16, a world of tighter top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership is needed. 2010, this was written. Okay. And including quarantines, curfews, lockdowns, forced vaccinations, and if you click it, you can read it, but keep scrolling down. 2011, okay, 2011, Charles Lieber, that's the Harvard professor, he got paid $50,000 a month to create nanotechnology that goes inside the human body. Keep going down. January 2011, oh, this is exciting. So 2011, Jeffrey Epstein, the world's most prolific pedophile, decides he wants to create his own race of people, but he decides he needs to team up with Bill Gates to do it. So click on the link. Rolling Stone has reported Jeffrey Epstein creating his own race of people. That's in the shots. Okay, let's keep going. 2011. I want to take a shower. 2011. NASA, their chief scientist, who's still there, lays out the blueprint for ushering in the transhumanism agenda. It's all right there. 2012, Harvard's Charles Lieber, he creates a material that merges nanoscale electronics with biological tissues. 2013, they can't figure out how to do it. So they have to team up with Lieber and Epstein and Bill Gates, these three winners, the world's most prolific pedophile, teams up with Bill Gates, okay, Charles Lieber, and they go, we can't figure it out. So they team up with a satanic spiritual advisor. Click this. Her name is Marina Abramovich. This is the spiritual advisor for Jay-Z, for Beyonce, for basically the halftime show, for Jay-Z, for Beyonce. And if you go to DuckDuckGo and type in Marina Abramovich spirit cooking. Marina Abramovich spirit cooking. So they teamed up with Epstein, Gates, and Charles Lieber. They teamed up with Marina Abramovich to do spirit cooking to usher in satanic powers. And if you just type Marina Abramovich, hack it in there, spirit cooking, go to DuckDuckGo, look it up yourself. They openly do this. She's written a book about it. This is what they do, and that's okay. And then click on images. Okay, you'll find it. And then type in spirit cooking after that. This is Marina Abramovich. And by the way, during the lockdown, this is who Microsoft featured during their 2020 Easter commercial. This is her. Click on Gwen Stefani hanging out with what appears to be a dead body. Keep going down. Look at it. Jay-Z. Look at the. Oh, I don't understand. I mean, what? So again, Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, Lieber team up with a satanic spirit cooker to create the technology. Let's go back here, back to the timeline. Keep going now. 2003, Ralph Baric. We know that Ralph Baric created the coronavirus gain-of-function research. It's all cited. Keep going down. Keep going. 2015, Harvard's Charles Lieber creates a U.S. patent for using 5G radiation to vibrate a coronavirus particle. Have you noticed that during the lockdowns, there was like these 5G towers going up everywhere? The 5G towers this time of year on the way to Ohio, because I drive to all these events, the 5G towers this time of year truly look crazy. Okay, have you seen how many 5G towers there are? They're slapping a 5G tower on every football stadium in San Diego. Have you seen this? Okay, click on the patent. It can only enter the body via syringe. So we read, it says here, okay, for example, the device may be passed through a syringe or needle. I've put it all here for you. See, it's timetofreeamerica.com/revelation. Keep going. Okay, keep going. So then, Klaus Schwab, he explains the fourth industrial revolution. Click on this. Go to 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Klaus Schwab, he's on Charlie Rose, 2015. Charlie Rose says, what is the Great Reset? What is the fourth industrial revolution that you have planned to unleash? What is it? And this is what he says 6 minutes and 10 seconds in, and then we'll go back to Phil. Here we go. Hit play.
And you see, the difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, just as an example, it's you who are changing.
Pause. As in the days of Noah, the fallen angels, they came down and mated with the women to create the Nephilim. Phil, back to you.
I don't know. This guy's like ought to be in a James Bond movie. What do you think? You know, when it's, you know, Joseph Goebbels, who worked alongside of Hitler, said no one believes a small lie. Everybody believes a big lie. This is so big and so out there, you go, this can't be true. And yet, what do? You just follow the trail here, and you see what's happening. And the Bible does say in the last days, men will depart from the faith and give heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of demons.
And people say, well, I don't want to take the shot. That's fine. Devin, Google this. Type in HR 666. Congress is working on legislation right now, symbolically named HR 666. That would force you to take the shots. HR 666. That's what it's called. And you go, well, I mean, could you imagine being the guy who proposes this to Congress? Hey, I've been working on something, you know, it's something, it's a number I'm just thinking about. HR 666. They go, yeah, that makes sense, Carl. We'll go with that. No, what? And then people say, Clay, you're sick. You're a conspiracy theorist. Well, okay, Congress is working on more legislation called HR 666, by the way. These are all just coincidences that all. But type in HR 666. That's 4 sixes. You see right there? Right there? Okay. And then you say, well, where would they take us if we don't want to take the shots? Like if we don't speak up, we don't fight back, where do they want to take us? Type in CDC green zones. The CDC wants to take us to Nazi-style quarantine camps, which, by the way, the last time legislation was rolled out in the world for quarantine camps was 1938. A good guy or a person, maybe he was confused, or maybe he was, in fact, the leader of the Nazi Party, Adolf Hitler. He said we need to take the Jews to quarantine camps to keep them safe. Revisionist history, they renamed it to be concentration camps. They were once called quarantine camps. That's why when you go to Auschwitz, it says, welcome to the Auschwitz quarantine camp. Okay? So, and then you say, well, Google says, but Google, type in Google Chrome logo 666. Do you know the Google Chrome logo is now 666? Do we know this? Who did not know this? Oh, we'll just keep going. This will be a blasty blast. You'll want to go to In-N-Out 2 or 3 times. Just keep going through, In-N-Out, sorting it out. They'll ask you what your order is. I don't know what I was going to order, but okay. So this is a Google Chrome logo. And how many of you know what adrenochrome is? Do you know that the Google is called Chrome and the operating system that runs it is called Adreno? But you want to throw up to the side, that way you don't infect the person next to you. Now, if you type in, let's type in Bill Gates. He's working on a nanotechnology that goes inside the human body, thus making it possible for no man to buy or sell, thus completing and fulfilling Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 18. Devin, type it in W02020060606. That's the patent. And that is the patent W02020. Oh, yeah. There you go. He's hacking away. Could you imagine trying to keep up with this? It's like trying to speed type with the Bone Thugs and Harmony or something. Here we go. Keep going. Okay, click it. DJ reference, sorry. Okay, there. So look at that. That is the technology that makes it possible. Let's go back to timetofreeamerica.com/revelation. Okay, well, keep going down. So Bill Gates, he does a TED Talk saying we can reduce the Earth's population if we do vaccines. 2015. Oh, look at it. The system and method for testing for COVID-19 was patented in 2015. Again, click it. The system and method for testing for COVID-19 was patented in 2015. I'll repeat one more time. The system and method for testing for COVID-19 was patented in 2015. And the COVID-19 stands for Certificate of Vaccination IDAI. Certificate of Vaccination IDAI. Not the year 19. Certificate of Vaccination IDAI. Certificate of Vaccination. That's what it stands for. Okay, keep going. Back to the timeline. Okay, wow. Okay, here we go. So then Peter Daszak's on video bragging how his colleagues in China created the virus. So you can watch the video later if you want to. Keep going down 2016. Okay, Barack Obama comes out 2016. He says, you got to read this new book by Dr. Yuval Noah Harari. I love what he's doing. Okay, keep going. So then, keep scrolling down. A few more highlights. Keep going down. Keep going. Keep going. We're feeling the flow. Okay, now, hey. So December 9th, 2019. Okay, technology was created to use mRNA technology to deliver the CRISPR gene editing technology that can block out the God gene. And in the Moderna patents, there's a technology called luciferase, which would fulfill their desire to make Lucifer's race luciferase. What? All the patents are right here. Okay, so we keep going down. Then MIT creates a technology where you can see under the skin whether you've been vaccinated or not. Keep going down. Scrolling down, keep going down. March 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization declares a global pandemic shortly after Bill Gates stroked him a check. Neil Ferguson of the Abdul Latif Jameel Institute. The Abdul Latif Jameel Institute has declared a global pandemic. It could be a pandemic based upon the models of Neil Ferguson. Remember that? Neil Ferguson? Remember Neil Ferguson? That's the guy? Okay. Keep scrolling down. And then we've got 15, and then right here we got the PCR tests. They're called polymerase chain reaction tests. Those are used to determine whether you have COVID-19. The inventor of the PCR test, Carrie Mullis, has said on camera that Fauci is a liar and that a PCR test could be used to basically test for anything. Let's hit play, Devin. Watch this. This is the inventor of the PCR test, the COVID test, explaining how it works. Hit play.
Tony Fauci does not mind going on television and can lie directly into the camera.
And with PCR, if you do it well, you can find almost anything in anybody, because if you can amplify one single molecule, which PCR can do, there's just very few molecules that you don't have at least one single one of them in your body. So that could be thought of as a misuse of it, just to claim that it's meaningful.
Okay, pause. So, Devin, let's go back to the video of the fighter from that documentary. How many of you have seen the movie called The Fighter? The Fighter had Mark Wahlberg in it and Christian Bale. You ever seen this? It's based upon a real-life fight. Devin, go back to my notes here real quick. I want you to see this. Go back to it. I just want to let you inside my head. I'll let you out, I promise. It's just a look inside my head. You can leave later. Okay, so Mickey Ward, okay, goes going against Shay Neary, okay? Who's seen Rocky IV? The movie Rocky IV was based on this, okay? So Mickey Ward is a fighter who wasn't that good, and his brother was very good, and he gets a fight versus the heavyweight champion of the world, and the terms are he has to go fight in a foreign land, and his strategy is to take hits and not stop taking hits until the end of the fight. He goes into beast mode, and that is the only mode that I know. I am so intense, it's like I'm always camping. Okay, so what I want you to understand, because if you leave here today and you're like, well, those are some bold people, that's wrong. I need you, we need you to go out and wake up a lot of people. A lot of people, okay? So we're gonna play this, and I'm gonna have Pastor Phil talk about this because we've been taught, in my opinion, a Luciferian form of Christianity, which means that we've been taught at churches that if you are politically correct, you'll avoid adversity, and then you can go to Hobby Lobby and get a little thing that says blessed and put it above your toilet. If you give enough. But really, Matthew 5:10 says, blessed are ye who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for they shall inherit the kingdom of heaven. So let's watch the video. Devin. Venues in Oregon. I booked the first event in Oregon, got canceled, second one canceled, third one canceled. Somehow $300,000 later, magically, we have another venue. Okay? But all of us need to be able to sacrifice our fortune, our time, our talent, our treasure. It can't be a spectator sport. We are in the ring. And for me, January of 2020 is when I discovered, okay, I knew about the Rockefeller plan. How many of you knew about the Rockefeller plan? I thought for sure Trump would stop it. And once I saw Deborah Birx and Fauci on TV, I'm going, oh, frick. I've got to get out of my hot tub. Gonna have to organize events. Gonna get sued by Eric Coomer, who ran a moving vehicle into a parked building. Gonna have to be attacked by Jimmy Kimmel. But yet, I'm gonna teach you a survival technique. I sip on Haterade. I love it. It's my favorite beverage. So, what I want you to understand is some of us, we want to get involved in the fight, and then we get sued, and we go, well, I'll go to In-N-Out Burger and watch Netflix. No. We're all in the ring. Are you feeling what I'm saying? We're all getting pelted in the ring, and we love that story ended well for this fighter, but we're taking hits right now. So, Phil, Matthew 5:10 through 11 says, blessed are ye who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. I believe at Influence Church, you teach the sort of ministry where you take the hits and keep going. And you said, hey, I'll bring you bring the Re-awaken America tour to Anaheim, and we will not relent. And you took a lot of persecution, but you opened your church to us when most churches wouldn't. Can you kind of explain from a Christian perspective? Because I kind of want to curse right now, and I shouldn't do it. So, Phil, go ahead.
I just got to say, I'm watching that movie when I get home, right? We were in Cancun, Mexico, my wife and I. This is going somewhere. And we were watching The Four Musketeers. Do you remember that? Okay, it's a great movie. And all through the movie, they're reaching in and they're throwing popcorn. Whenever the bad guy comes, they throw it at the screen. And then the movie stops halfway through. It just, it's the old film thing. And everybody gets up and refills popcorn and comes back so they can have popcorn reload to throw at the bad guy. Let me tell you something. You're watching a movie of far greater importance. You have to reload the popcorn. You have to engage. You have to be involved. And if you don't stand, then you will fall. There's just no doubt about it. There's no easy way around this. This is tough stuff. You will be persecuted if you stand. That doesn't give you the license to do something wrong. It only gives you the right to do what is right.
It's powerful. Now, Devin, you go back to 3 minutes in this video, okay? There's a little clip I want to show you, and then we'll introduce our next two speakers. This is so important because he just said if you do what's right, you will be persecuted. And I don't know when it was taught from churches, but it seems like a lot of pastors, a lot of churches, a lot of teachers have been teaching, if you do the right thing, you won't be persecuted. And I think it's because I used to stutter as a kid, and I got made fun of a lot, and I couldn't talk till I was kind of younger guy. But I just do not care about persecution at all. In fact, I like it. It's the moment you have to have where it's just that, we have to leave here with, this has to happen, the slingshot. But we want to do it from a Christian perspective. I don't claim to have it figured out. I read the Bible very aggressively, going, where's the part where we win? Where's the part where... So, I want to make sure we leave here. We have to know. Let's go back to timetofreeamerica.com/revelation. I know we do win in the end, but I want to share with you one more clip. At the very bottom of the timeline, on December 23rd, the eve of Christmas Eve, a lot of us were listening to Wham while, sipping on some sort of eggnog or something. Keep going down all the way in. This is the Fox News finally reported on Charles Lieber, the scientist who created the nanotechnology that goes inside the human body, because he finally got convicted. And so Fox did a story about what his technology does. Just listen to this clip. Devin, hit it.
U.S. intelligence shows China is using advanced technologies like gene editing and brain control weapons to advance its military and to crush dissent.
Pause. Go back in.
Yes.
Pause.
Yes,
go back
yes,
in. Pause.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got
Devin, pause
quite
that thing. Go back. That's okay. That's fine. I have no patience. Like a European doctor. You feel me? Okay. Okay. Because there's socialized medicine and there's no patience. It takes a long time. In-N-Out Burger, it all come to you later. Okay, so hit play. All right. So again.
U.S. intelligence shows China is using advanced technologies like gene editing and brain control weapons to advance its military and to crush dissent.
Pause. You heard that. That's what they're doing. That's why you shouldn't put those shots inside your body. That's why some people say, I'm not anti-vaccine. I am. But I am. You say, I'm not anti-vaccine, I'm anti-mandate. I'm anti-vaccine and anti-mandate. I don't want to put a part of a bat and a rat and a cat and a dog mixed with some other weird sort of SM-102 in my body. Have you looked up SM-102? It's in the shots. Look that up. SM-102. Not so good. I don't want that in my body. My wife doesn't want most of the things I eat inside my body. I got to eat organic. But the point is, okay, so Phil, we're going to bring up Lance Walnau here in just a second, but I want you guys to understand this idea. The reason for this Re-awaken America tour is we've got to restore the power to the pulpit. As Christians, we have to be the head and not the tail. And that's why I bring so many pastors on this stage. Yes, we bring doctors and people to expose election fraud, medical fraud, religious fraud, but it's all about getting back to God, which I'm getting better at each and every week. So I'll let Pastor Phil introduce Lance Walnau, and I'll go over here. Thank you, Phil.